What is up, all you beautiful bald people? I'm Joe, here with the beautiful Nicole.
Hey guys.
And we're here for another Scalp Micropigmentation mini podcast. Today's topic, this is a fun one and a long time coming.
Fun one.
It's a two-dimensional frame to your face. Nicole, break that down in layman's terms. What does that mean to you when we say it's a two-dimensional frame to your face?
Okay, so a lot of people are, the common question is, if I get this done and I grow out my hair, right? This is a really easy one for them to think of.
Okay.
And I grow out my hair, would that be cool? No, it wouldn't be cool because...
We should give them a visual.
Wait, hair has volume, okay? Hair has volume, it moves in the wind. What we do, as amazing as it is, it's flat. I mean,
it's two-dimensional.
It's two-dimensional.
So, to me, it's two-dimensional pertaining to the tattoo element. The ink sits underneath the skin.
Exactly.
We try so hard as artists to make it look like it's popping, like it's 3D, like it's hair stubble. But the truth is, the very cold, hard truth is, it's underneath the skin. It's flat. It's two dimensions.
But I would say, this is so important, it does look three-dimensional the day of, meaning fresh.
I mean, we're on our soapbox saying that.
No, but it really
absolutely.
does. And I think
that's
they
a
should
very
understand
potent part.
that.
Yeah, that's very,
But that's
very important.
not what it's going to look like. So
Right.
meaning it does more, it resembles hair because of the day of. It's like fresh, it's very pigmented, it looks very dark, it looks like it all blends, but that's not what it's going to heal like.
We had our last video was the 3 standards of SMP.
Yes.
And the second one we called traditional SMP. And we had a comment I thought was even better than what we came up with. It's Instagram SMP. And I think that's what you're referring to.
That is really, really
Did you
true.
see that comment? It's
reality
Instagram
versus Instagram.
So what you're referring to is the Instagram scalp micropigmentation. Yes. And again, it's the fresh result. It's the day of result. And that ink is never going to be, the ink is still wet.
Yeah.
It needs ample time. It needs to cure. It needs to dry. And it takes like 3 to 5 days, 7 days, a week or so for everything to lay down. So, okay.
Yes.
So back to the topic, right?
Yep.
The 2 dimensions and then the frame to your face.
Man,
Come
that
on.
frame.
So, and then that's what you were saying. These guys that are thinning, they lose all their
Yes.
hair, but they have that little line of a hairline.
Uh-huh.
They hang on to it because it's that frame to your face.
And they're almost willing just not to give it up at any cost. I mean, why is that so cool?
Because
to think about that?
it's more youthful.
Yeah.
It's their youth they're hanging on to. It's their identity they're hanging on to.
So let's talk about it. The hairline essentially, I mean, I would say it's like hairline equals youthful appearance. What else would we say? The flow to the face.
Yeah, it accentuates your features.
Yes.
And I'd say it's not even a hairline. I'll go with a hat. Every bald guy has a favorite hat.
They do.
Why do they have that favorite hat?
I even have a favorite
It's
hat.
because that frame it puts on your face.
Yeah.
Same with the female. It's the same thing. It's no different. Same thing, same reason, a hairpiece, or what is it called, a synthetic, whatever you want to call that. Those are still around since the powdered wig days in like the 1700s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
They're still around because it puts a frame on a man's face. And
It really does.
now I think all those synthetics should be taken to the back of the shed and shot and killed forever. That's, it's opinion. Everyone has their own preference. But my point is, everyone makes that choice based on the frame to the face, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what's so crucial. Now, back to scalp micropigmentation. It's the frame to your face, and it's two-dimensional.
Yes.
If you understand these 2 key components, that's really all the information someone would need to make the right choice, find the right artist, and get the right work done. This is why we do subtle pigmentation.
Exactly.
Because that ink, back to what you said, that fresh look. Well, what happens a year from now, right? If someone got the treatment today, the ink only has one way to go, right? Everyone thinks it's going to just fade and dissipate away. You can go get another touch-up in a couple years. There's no truth behind that. That's marketing, and then people believe it. There's just no truth behind it.
Yes.
If ink is in your head, more than likely it's just going to settle in. Now, if you skate the surface and it's super light, perhaps it can dissipate, right?
Of course.
Big
you
asterisk
would need a touch-up.
on if, yeah.
I mean, that's really crucial. That right there is absolutely it's the hairline. That's what we're trying to do. That's why we're so big on subtle pigmentation, is making sure that you have realistic expectations at home. It's like gentlemen are losing their hair and they're seeing the hairline go away and they're like, oh my gosh, what can I do? And that's why I think they're reaching for every single option on how to bring that youthful appearance back.
That's what it is. But once that hairline is gone, once that frame is gone, your best move 90% of the time, shout out Bald Cafe.
For real.
You are the man.
Yes,
I know there's other guys doing that work, but that's God's work. That's amazing work. What he does, if anyone that doesn't know, he gets guys to just shave down. And he interviews them and he really hits the psychological factors that go into a man's life, especially in the early years when you lose your hair. you lose your frame. In other
Yep.
words, you lose your identity.
Yeah.
You lose who you look like.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing when you lose your frame, right? You look worse off. You look unhealthy. You were saying earlier, you look like you're, perhaps you're going through chemo,
Yep.
or you have alopecia. You look sickly.
You do.
It's not an alpha move necessarily
That's
to
exactly
lose your
it.
hair.
That's exactly it.
You
But
know?
it's an alpha move, I would say, to just shave it. I'm honestly.
To own it though. Yeah.
That's really what it is, and
Yeah.
to be comfortable in
Yeah.
your own skin with it.
Yeah. I'll say this, it's an alpha move to shave it, and of course, this doesn't pertain to everybody, this is my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But it's an alpha move to shave it every day. Because the guy that just shaves it finally, and then lets it grow out on the sides,
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
it's like he found his alpha, he found his inner, as David Goggins likes to say, shout out David Goggins. If you guys don't know David Goggins, please do yourself a favor, Google search him. Your inner bitch, excuse my language. But it really though, it's the weak inside you. It's the unsure inside you. It's like, I don't know what looks best. Maybe I should ask my girlfriend's opinion. My mom says I look good. Just
Or the
shave
guys
it.
that don't even say it to anybody. I mean,
They don't talk about it.
We recently had a gentleman here. I don't even think I told you. His wife had no idea that he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he lives in another state.
Yeah.
Has no idea
Yeah.
that he was getting this done. Super young, super just like, just gutted. And it was exactly that. It was the hairline. He was like, I'm good with it being in the back. I can't see it. I don't care. But when my hairline is gone and people are like, wait, how old are you? They're actually mistaking him for 45, 50 years old. And the guy's in his mid-20s.
Yeah. Again, you lose your hairline, you lose your frame, you lose your identity.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, and it's hard to find that courage and the fortitude to just, there seems like there's so many few options out there. There really are.
Well, I mean, the truth is there's so many few options that actually work. That's really what it is. There's great marketing, and we say that all the time. There's keeps, or I'm all whispering.
Yeah. I think, the best way to say what, scalp micropigmentation, or subtle pigmentation, I should say, through my eyes, it's the words classic come to mind.
Yes.
The word graceful comes to mind. To
Yes,
me, it's the
yes,
most
yes.
graceful way to lose your hair, to be bald.
Absolutely.
For the guys that are still like, oh, I lost
I
the
think
frame.
of James Bond. Bond. That's what I think of when I think of scalp micropigmentation. with like a classy drink.
Okay.
Not that
I
I'm
like it.
condoning drinking.
Yeah.
But I really do think of
I was
James
thinking more
Bond.
like Rambo, right?
Oh my god. James Bond over here,
Point
Sean
Break.
Connery.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Again, graceful, classic, tasteful, maybe would be another way in your eyes.
I like that.
It's a move. I understand not everybody loves subtle pigmentation, but I also think a lot of people don't fully understand it.
That's
They have a firm
really
opinion.
it right there. I think if they had all the information, they would make the right decision. They would make such a better
I
decision.
agree with that. I agree with that.
You feel where I'm going? One thing that I really wanted to highlight before we get off topic is we have a lot of guys that'll message us and say, hey, I'm thinning. I don't necessarily want to shave it down like we're talking about. I barely have the hairline going on. I want to grow it out after. Now, we work with gentlemen that are thinning all the time, but I would want to highlight this. This is so important, and I don't want you guys to be confused. If you have hair, right? Let's say that you have hair and maybe it's about a 1 or 2 on the sides, okay? Imagine if we were to put Joe's treatment underneath your actual hair. I want you to think about that for a second. That's so important. It would be so light. Your hair would overwhelm it. It would mask.
I would look bald again.
You would look bald
we did
again.
it. Yeah.
We did that
We'll
on
show the picture.
Instagram.
Yep.
But I think that's very important for people
That's
to
a really good
understand.
visual. That's a really good visual. How subtle it actually is. How light it actually
so
is.
subtle. And now I know you're like, okay, well, I want to cover my thinning hair. I understand that, and you will get some sort of coverage. But if you're looking for what the fibers do or for super dark coverage, if you ever needed to shave that down in the future, you would have a blotchy mess underneath there. So when you have hair, you're towing the line of what do you want to do, and anticipating the future. I think that's something very important.
That's a common question. Yeah. I think that deserves a video all by itself. That topic right there.
But that's really where the 2D and the marketing really comes in mind. When you're seeing it online, you're seeing the fresh results where the skin is the day of, and a lot of times they don't even wipe it. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm thinning. This is gonna cover. This is perfect. But this is why we're talking about the 2D.
True. Okay. Yeah. Again, 2-dimension versus the 3D native hair that's left over. That's the big compromise. You're exactly right. To match longer hair, and this is one of the most common questions on our YouTube channel. To match the longer hair, you would need, like you say, a Sharpie marker almost to get that boldness, that fullness.
That's
and
why
maybe
the
from
fibers
afar.
work so well.
And again, on Instagram, that could look really great, especially if I
Yes.
tweak the lighting, right, the exposure,
Yes,
whatever you got to do to
yes.
that picture.
Contrast,
But what
yeah.
we're saying is, when that is all healed, come see that same guy a week or two later, and that treatment will be so much lighter.
Yes.
I'll say this: to look natural, it's impossible to match hair, over a one clip,
Yes.
which is what, like, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 days to 6 days
Depending
grown
on the
out
person, yeah.
on depending on the guy.
Mhm.
Once the hair gets long enough,
Yep.
there's no way to match it with keeping that natural look, right? Passing the spotlight challenge.
That's it. That's exactly it right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And that's why understanding, okay, you would have to shave it down, depending on your hair growth to keep the illusion of that natural, soft, subtle pigmentation.
All right, guys, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Probably our favorite part of this whole YouTube channel is seeing your comments, reading your comments. So what are your thoughts on the frame to your face? That's what I really want to hear from you. And then also, do you understand the 2-dimension versus 3-dimension? Do you think most people get it?
Thanks, guys.